FIFA wants to implement proposed new regulations regarding football agents by June, but some of these proposals aimed at adjusting remuneration guidelines for agent have some up in arms. eNCA's Arthur Bwanakawa got the views of a top football agent.
A football agent who is not unfamiliar to, of course, your telescreens in the football South African landscape. It's none other than Glenn Binken. Mr. Binken, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to the eNCA sports viewers. I guess most agents across the world have called this decision unlawful and anti-competitive. What are your opening remarks?
Yeah, I believe so. I know FIFA's proposed change in regulations will set in June 2022, but I'd be very surprised if it does happen then, because at the moment FIFA are facing a huge challenge.
Is it legal for FIFA to actually make this recommendation?
Yeah, I think that the process has evolved a couple of times since its inception in and around 2005, as they identified. At one stage there was a licensing process, and I firmly believe in the licensing process. They then did away with the licensing process. There was no regulations, no proper regulations governing who could enter the industry as an agent. Part of what they're proposing makes sense, but the capping of the fees doesn't make sense at all.
How does that affect the business of football on the African continent?
Yeah, I think a lot of the African players are shining on the European stage, and those players are getting into Europe somehow, and obviously through intermediaries or agents. And these agents, a lot of them are probably European agents who are now coming into Africa and trying to get the African players into Europe. So I don't think it necessarily benefits the African agents as such.
The agents are still saying there's no ways this will benefit the greater good for football. Arthur Bwanakawa in Johannesburg for eNCA Sport.